my struggle. So as I was struggling with the implications, what is that story? Almost by divine providence, an autographed copy of Dwayne Elgin's book, Awakening Earth, arrived in my mail. I'd never met Dwayne at that point. I need to ask him sometime why he sent it to me, but it was extraordinary. Elgin's essential message in that book is captured in 2 brief sentences. As humanity develops its capacity for reflective consciousness, it enables the universe to achieve self-referencing knowing of itself. Through humanity's awakening, the universe acquires the ability to look back and reflect upon itself in wonder, awe, and appreciation. Wow. Therein was the key. The role of an integral intelligence in the unfolding of creation. A stark contrast to the 2 prevailing creation stories of our time. One, the story of the great patriarch external to the material world. And the other, the story of a cosmos as a dead machine. Both of which effectively strip our lives of real meaning. And particularly our lives as creators of a new future in this life, on this planet. The story of the external intelligence leads us to play out the idea of how do we get on the right side of the big guy so we can have a good place in the afterlife. Would you come to all my presentations? You're beautiful. That of course, for so many leads to the concept of the rapture. We're waiting to get out of here so we can be in relation to God. Then of course the scientific story, that only the material is real. Life is nothing more than an accidental outcome of material complexity. And consciousness is an illusion. Wow, try to find meaning in that world. Try to find meaning in that world. But an integral conscious intelligence seeking to know itself through its continuing unfolding. And we humans as co-creators in that process, bringing to that process our capabilities of a reflective consciousness. Now there's a reason to live and to continue and to find our true potential in place in the cosmos. Now this also has some very practical implications. The insight led me to see the connection between our economic crisis and our spiritual crisis. And to begin to understand the deeper, profound role of cultural stories in shaping our behavior as a species. And much of my work since has focused on helping people recognize the nature and implications of the stories by which we choose to live. Now, the old stories, the stories with which most of us grew up, the stories that prevail in our culture, induce a cultural trance that holds us captive to what I call the dominator structures of empire. The structures that are potentially our collective undoing. The new stories open our eyes and our being to unrealized human possibility and guide us in creating societies that support us in actualizing our human role in cosmic creation. So who are we humans? What is our nature? From where do we come? For what purpose? And how do we get ourselves in such an incredible mess? So here's how I understand the stories drawn from the data of science, the wisdom of indigenous peoples, and the teachings of the great religious prophets. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, the integral spiritual intelligence that expresses itself through what we know as creation embarked on a bold and risky experiment in reflective consciousness. It brought forth a species able to step back and reflect on creation in awe and wonder, and to participate as conscious co-creators in its continued creative unfolding. And we humans, of course, are that species. Our reflective consciousness gives us the capacity to choose our future with collective self-awareness and collective intent. Now this experiment, this cosmic experiment, carried a major risk. Because the capacity for self-awareness gives us an ego that can run out of control if it forgets that we exist only as part of a larger whole. This search for the big cultural story that reveals our human purpose and possibility and explains how we got ourselves into our current mess had a major role in my decision in 2002 to write The Great Turning from Empire to Earth Community, which is by far the most ambitious of my books. And herein lies the source of my special affection for the Whidbey Institute and this room. In March 2005, as the manuscript was taking place, Karen North, who then headed the Institute, organized an invitational workshop in which I presented my framing ideas to a number of the Institute's most thoughtful and visionary leaders for feedback. Sharon Parks and Larry Delos played key roles, and I believe there's Larry and Sharon. They helped to organize that. Were anyone else in the room that was there for that event? Vicki Robin? Fritz?
Rick, Tom?
Tom? Okay. Yeah, I mean that was just an extraordinary gift that you people gave to me, because it so helped sharpen the concepts. And Larry and Sharon particularly helped me strengthen my frame on one of the most important dimensions of that book, which is an exploration of the development of our individual consciousness from our birth to elderhood, and how we think about that, which is really a framework for a deeper understanding of what it truly means to be human and what our true human possibilities are, the possibilities of the human consciousness. And that helps us understand this fundamental question of what really is our human nature. Is it really to be greedy, competitive, violent, etc., which really is kind of the profile of a psychopath. It's really rather strange that we have come to celebrate those characteristics as our nature. But the framework, that developmental psychology framework, helps us see that our true potential is to grow in our wisdom, to become increasingly aware of this deeper integral spiritual consciousness, the interconnectedness of all being, and yet to do this in a place of deep wisdom and sophistication and understand the nuances of that. So,